just wanted to briefly say hello, just hoping you're doing well in your general life. Now, I was trying to set up like a scheduled event, a scheduled stream here. It doesn't seem to be working the way I was planning, but general fans of the channel may be very excited to hear this exquisite audio quality. I'm getting all my sounds. They're all actually working. My voice is not sounding like a robot garbage person, and that's all it's very exciting to me personally. I can't speak for you. I really honestly never try to do that. And I guess this is sort of a longer intro we're getting into here. But I just wanted to say what's up and in the background check to see if this thumbnail was gonna load. But honestly, who needs thumbnails? I mean, this channel's not really getting recommended to anybody, so the only real reason to keep doing the show is for me to just sort of get some stuff off my chest, and for the people that did manage to find me in the past. I feel the bond, I feel that connection, even as tenuous as everything has become in this world, and that's in general exciting, I would say. Just give me a chance. I'm gonna delete this fake live stream that is not happening, and we're gonna stick with the real live stream that is actually happening. Looks like we have some random strangers around here. I'm just gonna write in the chat. I'm just checking some stuff out here. Sup, guys? Still rocking that restream. That does seem to be restreaming out to all the platforms. So if you're sick of YouTube in general, I'm not saying any of the other platforms aren't full of censorship and suppression, but we are currently also streaming to Twitch and DLive. So if that's something you're more into, feel free, because I don't think we need to talk about too much how bad the censorship has gotten on this platform. It's actually almost comical to watch these days, just how aggressive everything is getting shut down. That is fun. But that's I'm spacing out here. Let's go start the show. I got an air horn button now. I just feel like I needed an air horn button, just depending on the content, you know what I mean? It's good to be here, though. I seriously hope you're doing well. All right, what's going on, guys? It is the Fake Truth Show that is just seems to be on at completely random times. Sometimes there's month-long breaks. It's hard to say exactly why any of that is happening. Maybe there are demons in my mind keeping me from doing the show. That's actually a pretty good symbol. I am constantly getting interrupted in the things that I actually want to do for things that I have to do, and I'm sure a lot of people out there in the world can relate to this feeling. There's these things that you want to do, and then there's the things that you have to do, and while I definitely enjoy getting on here and talking about the news in an honest way, in a way that I cannot do in public since, I want to say years at this point, I am terrified to open my mouth about any of these subjects because I am scared I will betray my true feelings about what's going on in the world. And when I started this channel, that was already a little bit dangerous, but it still had sort of an air of fun to it, right? It was Trump and the whole just ridiculous circus that was going on. But as we all know, things have kicked into that absolute next level of deception, where they are trying to get to the very bottom of reality and keep you from looking at it in any sort of reasonable way. And I guess it depends on where you're at, where you're from, what you're up to, but I would say that they are doing a fantastic job. Just an absolute mind-blowing job of deceiving everybody. I honestly didn't even think it was possible at this level, but that is the fascinating thing about living in the world these days, is that, well, if you thought something was impossible, you better reassess your assumptions, right? Everything from aliens to mass incarceration, prison camps, global conflict, EMPs and all that other fun kind of stuff. I don't think anything is off the table, because after the magic trick that was 2020, what they managed to achieve just in a single year, it is, I mean, it would be wildly impressive if it wasn't just sort of so depressing. That's my feelings on that. So let's get into the news just a tiny bit here. As I was looking through my good old RSS feed here, I do like to focus on the main story of the day whenever I do get on here, because that really sort of betrays the narrative, the main concept, the main thing that we're trying to get across to the people. And it's hard with anything in this reality to say exactly what's going on there, to implicate collusion or people working together, maybe talking points getting sent out to all the major influential people out there. All I know is that when I pull up my news feed here, I see Captain Tom Moore, Captain Tom Moore, Captain Tom Moore, Captain Tom Moore. Let's go to the science section. Captain Tom Moore, right? I wasn't really aware that this guy dying was part of science news, but that's the amazing thing to me about this reality. I mean, just one of the amazing things that these sections used to be slightly different from each other, right? My news section is all sort of news and politics publications, and the science and tech is, right, phys.org, Mashable, Futurism. These are supposed to be The Verge. These are supposed to be Scientific American, scientific articles. But all I constantly see these days is politics happening here in the science section. And that is really, again, just sort of a dead giveaway for me. Now, I guess we should sort of dive in briefly to what is going on with Tom Moore. I guess if you don't know who Tom Moore was, that's okay, because he just really sort of seems to be this what word should I use actually for the virus? The virus. Wait, what are we calling this thing these days? The sickness. I'm down with the sickness. This guy, at least, especially in England, has become sort of, I guess, I don't know, an old people rallying cry for that you should not give up and keep fighting against the sickness. Because yeah, if you do remember, he was getting out in his yard, even though he was 99 or 100 years old. He was getting out in his yard and like walking around the yard, which I guess for most people, if they're walking around a yard, it's not that big of a deal. But since this dude is so old and obviously tied into the British royal family, he raised a ton of money for doing that, walking around. Here it says right here, World War II veteran raised £30 million for NHS. And the word that must not be named, do not say it. Honestly, I've lost sort of all fear of this show getting canceled. Maybe I can just say it. Coronavirus. It's the coronavirus we're talking about, guys. Don't tell anybody. If you guys can actually help me out, I lose subscribers on every single video I post, and I am on I guess I would say, mission to lose my magic 1,000 subscriber number, and I seem to be on track for that. So I don't know if you want to like unfollow and then refollow or something. Honestly, it would be cooler if people would watch the show, but that's just not the reality that we're living in. Anyways, getting distracted here. Captain Tom Moore, who captured Britain's heart as he raised more than £30 million for the NHS last year, has died. He was 100, right? Very non-symbolic number, dying at 100. He was obviously keeping it 100 when he was alive. The centurion was admitted to Bedford Hospital last week. Oh, I should have guessed this. He actually had the disease. But I guess they were treating him for pneumonia. Even if he died of pneumonia, they still will be calling this a COVID death. His daughters said in a statement, "It is with great sadness that we announce the death of our dear father, Captain Sir Tom Moore." Obviously sad, right? So grateful to be with her at the end of her life. Like, as we scroll through this article, you see that there's actually no content here. This guy really was just sort of an empty symbol for just raising awareness and walking around your yard and how cool that is. And I guess he was definitely like friends with the Queen. A bunch of people paid tribute to him. Obviously, people tweeting out about it and talking about it and writing news articles because he raised £30 million. And I don't know, you guys tell me what you think about this subject. I find this, like everything in this world, seemingly innocuous at first. That, oh sure, it's just this old dude. He's an army veteran, ticking all the boxes, raising money for the cause. But once you try to look into it a little deeper, there's basically nothing there. He obviously did cool stuff when he was younger, fighting in wars and all that. But as far as actually doing anything, he just seemed to be completely retired and chilling at his house. And then he used his name to get people, I guess, more hyped to donate and hang out. Not even hang out with them, just be aware of the virus happening. And that's another subject that I want to look into today, just how brutal this whole event this last year has been for everybody's wallet, and how that is just a continuous assault that is happening to this day. I do also think that something is weird is going on in the financial markets, and that, well, basically the goal has always been to keep the poor as poor and keep them down, and get the rich to be richer. And just like with everything, this story, just this tiny little sliver of news is ticking all those boxes at the same time, right? It's getting you aware of COVID. It's getting you remembering the war and happy for veterans. That gives you like a nationalistic feel. I guess if you were English, you would be proud that this guy is still kicking and being active politically. At the same time, you probably lost your job and are being totally screwed over, but you took your last 20 pounds and sent them in to Mr. Tom Moore to help him out with his cause. Never mind that you needed that money to sort of feed your children. They can probably just go hungry for that day because it's more worth it for the cause. It's more important for the cause. I realize I'm cutting off the text here. I also want to draw you attention to the insanity that standard news media has become. Look at all these pop-ups. This reminds me of the sketchy torrent sites and video streaming sites that I don't visit or use ever, but that I have heard about. Do you get me? There's pop-ups nonstop. It's like, obviously, I guess they're losing money, but it's like with all these things, like the news article itself, they get you down, they take your job away, and then they kick you when you're down and try to make money off your blood that you're dripping into the concrete, right? So here, I just sort of want to go through these. We got 1, 2, 3. These are 3 different ads. Every time there's a video, they're trying to make money because they're getting sort of streaming stuff from that. So we got 3 ads so far, 1 video. There's 2 more ads, and the annoying thing is the video continues to pop with you. Here's a 4th video ad from a separate platform then they want you to sign up for the newsletter. Then I guess this is yet again like a nested ad within their like info carousel. Then there's another info carousel. Oh, and look here on the side, there's these scammy sort of clickbait articles, which we see everywhere. We got at least 4 or 5 of those. Then I guess this is yet another ad, and then there's another ad, and then there's more ads, and then they're advertising more. Like there's only like 1% of content, and the rest is advertising. Now I know most of you have been on the news websites lately. I don't want to harp on that forever. Let's see what else we got. Other sad, horrible stuff is happening. I guess there's a shooting going down in Oklahoma. I feel like if I talk about this, I will get in serious trouble because, oh look, the ads are back. What's up, ads? We shouldn't laugh. Children are dead. This is super sad, right, guys? People died. And yeah, honestly, I'm a little scared to even mention this subject because, as with all of these sort of events, you know, there's the truth, and then that overlaps with what they're telling you, and then there's the part that they're actually putting out into the news. And there is sort of like a Venn diagram circle there where somewhere between the truth and what they're giving you out, there is some overlap. There is a good chance that these people actually did die. But the point would be, again, just like the Tom Moore article, that they're attempting to leverage you. They're trying to get in your feelings, make you feel scared, make you feel alone, make you feel horrified about the nature of humanity. Because it's really insane to me. It's ramping up so heavily that almost everything you see, everything you read, everything you do is meant to draw you further apart from each other. Be it the social distancing rules, being scared of your kid getting shot, trying to get money out of your pocket. It's like everything in this world really is. It just seems sort of engineered to get you further apart from your humanity and further apart from any sort of loving relationships that you may have had at some point. Well, hopefully you do. Hopefully you do. Now, a big part of this news story show has always just been about really checking up on the moment. I guess this is from 16 hours ago, but I haven't heard about it. I'm not sure if you have heard about it. Do you guys remember Buttigieg? I don't remember how to say his name. He is this is hilarious to me. If you guys don't know, if you guys aren't aware, and I guess if the NSA is listening, we know that Pete Buttigieg is a CIA asset. It is super obvious. It is ultra obvious how in the pocket for the intelligence agencies this guy is. And well, I guess he can be in charge of transportation. Does he really know anything about working transportation? Maybe he took some like transportation courses at CIA. There's a good chance. But it sounds like he is going to be a very, very, very important heavy hitter, important figure in the Biden administration, which, as usual, really not surprised, right? They always use the the primary to roll out new personalities, but mostly to get new ideas out there that they will then be implementing over time, and usually tackling subjects and ideas that would be too controversial or difficult for the actual president to get through, right? We had Andrew Yang there in the primary as well, and UBI's coming, guys. You're definitely going to get that UBI payment. It's already started. Bam. All right, that's we're heading into the entertainment section. I guess this is entertaining in some way. It was a previous dream of mine to really go hardcore on the media analysis, because it is something that I'm interested and have sort of some insight into. But that does take a lot of legwork and time, and has stopped me more than once from actually doing the show. But my new sort of strategy, my new take on life these days is that, well, if things are getting so crazy and rough out there, then you gotta live your life all the way to the max. Whatever you actually want to do. Especially if it's something controversial, this really may be your last chance, your last couple months or years to do anything like that without being sent to the prison camp, or at the very least getting your social credit score deeply impacted. So I'm actually sort of looking forward to those interviews when the totalitarian global regime starts, and they asked me about the Fake Truth channel. So what was going on there, and I guess they'll have all the facial rec, the eye movement tracking. They'll know what I believe and what I don't believe. There will be no sort of hiding from those shock troopers, or I don't know, whoever it is. This is a hypothetical situation. I'm not saying this is actually going to happen. But since we started this point, I really do want to just bring this point home. Not Pete Best, Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg. Let's pull up his Wikipedia article real quick. I don't want to take too much time with this. I guess Peter Paul, isn't there? There's like a what's the saying? Give a Peter to pay Paul. I gotta look that one up too. That's an interesting name that he has for himself. An American politician and former U.S. Navy intelligence officer. Former, keyword being former. He stopped hanging out with the U.S. Navy, and I guess, yeah, this is already in the Wikipedia. This literally just happened, but he is serving as the Secretary of Transportation. I'm sure he's gonna do great there, getting rid of all sort of personal travel vehicles, so we can make way for the self-driving cars and all that fun stuff. Graduate of Harvard, right? Obviously a very non-esoteric school, and Oxford, and went on to the Rhodes Scholarship. But the point I want to make here, he was an intelligence officer in the Navy Reserve. He fought in the War of Afghanistan. He went over there and did some killing. Hard to know exactly what he was doing there. But is that all they're going to give us in the Wikipedia? I guess the point would be these Ivy League schools combined with U.S. Navy intelligence. There is no getting out of these clubs. They would rather kill you than let you exit this club, and especially to see him in a highly influential position. It's really not surprising. So yeah, I expect to see some more from this guy. I honestly do. Now, I guess I'm working on my my timing here. But for my entertainment section, I did want to talk to you about something that happened to me today, actually, because I think it is relevant to the I guess the types of people that watch the show. I've left the breadcrumbs. There's no use trying to hide it. I'm an American living abroad. I'm living in the beautiful country of Germany right now. And it has been interesting to experience this entire phase, this outbreak and everything that's been going on from a distance outside of my home country, to see how different countries are reacting. Because as usual, if you're just in America, you're not really getting the full picture, the full bandwidth of reactions and responses that have been going down this year. And the interesting thing about being in Europe in general is that each country has a deeply different national identity, national character, and that has caused them to react very differently to the pandemic. And I mean, you could go down the list. France has a different reaction than Germany, has a different reaction than Spain, has a different reaction. It really is sort of very nationalistic, and it depends on how the people are already before this all went down. But I'll just tell you right now that the Germans are very system-oriented. They are very precise in their sort of thought processes. A very analytical place. There's not a lot of, even though there is a lot of Masons and powerful, influential, sort of esoteric people here as well. That is not really the focus of the national character. It is a lot of the stereotypes really are true. How sort of by the book, by the rules, everything is are by the book. Everything is here. Right? The trains run on time. Everything is sort of written out and told to you. And sometimes, because reality doesn't actually function that way, that is just sort of the human will to put things into categories. The systems that they develop and basically get people to live in can become extremely complex, because that's really not the nature of our reality. Reality is gray, complicated, and unquantifiable on so many levels. So for a society that almost refuses to admit any of that nuance, it can be difficult. But at the same time, that sort of rule-following, rule-based lifestyle that was already happening in this country for decades, if not hundreds of years, has been a very good society. I guess good is the wrong word, but a very accepting society of what has happened this year. Because, yeah, there's nothing, almost nothing they love more than following the rules and making sure they're keeping up with all the guidelines, checking the statistics, and staying well informed. And yeah, as we know from other areas of the world, the smartest, most well-informed people can actually be the easiest to manipulate and trick and fool into certain behaviors. And they obviously never want to hear that, because they're so smart. And I never want to hear, I'm smart, man. You can't manipulate me. But in the end, that's just the nature of our reality. Those are the reversals that are happening. But anyways, you don't have to read German. I'm just not gonna make you do that. But what they're talking about here is in this city, where you have to wear the mask and when. That is the big question, because they have rolled this out. This is recent, and that is the confusing thing. These rules are constantly changing. But the point being that in this city, you do have to, in certain locations, wear a mask outside. Yes, that's right. You definitely have to wear the mask on all the transportation and in any sort of public buildings, grocery stores, and all that fun stuff. That's, I think, is pretty standard in America. But because of the issue with the cases going up, they're doing their best to curb that, I guess. And they have found sort of certain high traffic areas where you have to wear a mask outside, basically. And the really confusing part about this is this list is constantly changing as well, right? That every sort of little street and area has a different rule, and it's highly specific, right? Here in St. Georg, you have to, in this area, it's from this house number 33 until this street, and it's daily from 8 till 10. Same for this street, right? But as soon as you get off the street, even 20 meters, you don't have to wear the mask anymore. And so, right, we were saying 8 to 22 here. If we scroll down a little bit, oh, well, here on this street, it's only 10 to 8 p.m. So that's already sort of a different rule here. You may think that you need to wear the mask until 10 p.m., but you really only need to wear the mask till 8 p.m. I hope you're seeing how sort of wildly arbitrary all of this is. And the point as well is that a lot of these areas are sort of the high traffic shopping areas, but most of the stores are shut down at this point and completely closed. So a lot of these areas where they are aggressively making sure you're wearing the mask, there's almost no foot traffic. These are empty streets, but at the same time, they are still patrolling them aggressively. And yeah, there's no need to really understand all of the geography, but I hope you see, right, just for this Altstadt is just one part of the city, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different areas with completely separate and complicated rules for those different areas that you have to follow. And some of these are on the weekends, some of these are not. Yeah, I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing, how sort of wildly arbitrary this is and how difficult it is to follow these rules. Now, why am I telling you all this? I do think it is interesting, but it has personally met me today. I was in one of these areas. I won't say exactly where because I'm anonymous, but the cops got me. I was not wearing my mask outside. I did not realize that I was in one of these supposed hot zones, and I was just sort of walking down the street, and this giant police van sort of veers out of traffic and parks on the wrong side of the road, and yeah, the cops jump out, ask me for my information. They're like, "Do you know what the hell you're doing? Are you insane? You're not wearing your mask in this hot zone." And I was like, "Damn, I'm sorry. I wasn't aware that the outbreak was imminent on this empty street. I am horribly sorry for my offense to you." But they did not want to hear any of the apologies. They were not interested because they're looking to make some money, right? They wrote me a ticket. They wrote me a ticket for not wearing a mask on that particular street at that particular time. Regardless of the fact that, right, literally 20 feet in either direction, I would have been out of the hot zone. I would have been in a clear area. But just because I was walking down this specific street, and again, it's not even the entire street, it's between house numbers, right? It's just a certain part of this street. That's why it's so hard to follow these rules. Yeah, and what's up, Grand Harbor? It's good to hear from you, man. This really reminds me sort of like the speed traps that you find in America, where somebody's sort of hiding behind a stop sign, and they know that everybody's speeding in that area. They know that it's a high traffic sort of issue, and then they jump out, they hop out, and write you that ticket. And right, with this list constantly changing, these times constantly changing, I don't know how you could possibly keep track of it. So your only real option would be, if you live in any of these areas, either to wear the mask aggressively, constantly, nonstop outside in every location, or to be constantly checking the site to see what part of the street has the hours. Are the hours different? Do I have to put the mask on now? Can I take it off now at 9:30? Is that okay, cops? Is that okay, guys? Yeah, you see the like extreme level of learned helplessness that this is ushering in, and how it really is blurring the lines. Sure, yeah, you can still go outside and not wear the mask, but you might get a ticket, right? And we're not talking like a cheap ticket. We're talking like 150, 200 euros, serious cash. And for anybody that is possibly out of work and totally screwed over by what has happened last year, that could be for you an absolute insane amount of money, and really sort of wreck your day, wreck your financial plans for the coming months even. But they're aware of this. They're fine with it, and they are pulling in millions and millions of euros just this city alone. So that's, I mean, I don't know if I have like a broader. I guess you see what I'm saying, and I mean the point. I guess the point of these shows was never to be right highly focused. I got a plan. I've been researching this stuff all day. There are other decent channels that you can go to for that style of information. I like to just sort of let the muses flow over, because sometimes I can come up with an idea or a point that may be, I don't know, a little more nuanced than just reciting you the information. And I apologize if it takes me a little bit of time to get to that information, or if the stream got cut. Sounds like we got some buffering. This show should not be on the air, and it's difficult. I basically succumb to that pressure, all the pressure coming from YouTube to not have me do this show, because it's demoralizing to not have those notifications going out, have the buffering happening, having all these issues flowing around. It's slightly demotivating, but in the end, we're in 2021, and I just don't care that much anymore. So if I want to get on here and talk about some weird stuff, I mean, I guess shut me down. go for it, YouTube. Like, this tiny channel with no reach, that has no sort of tangible influence on society as a whole. I guess you can come after me and shut this thing down. Yeah, but I miss these lives too, man. Grant, I recently got an email from another viewer, and I was reminded that I get something out of doing this show, and the people that are still out there that remember me, they get something out of it too. So in this aggressive time where they're just trying to shut everything down and make you feel bad and stay at home and just sort of cry and talk to your robots, I guess I'm still talking to my robots, but there seem to be actual real people on the other side of this robot. And I would encourage everybody listening, if you're listening, do the same. Don't let the robots win. Don't let them get you down. And know that they will never stop. They will never end this sort of attempt to get your energy frequency levels down. It will never stop. So you gotta keep fighting back, and that's my message to myself. I'm really, a lot of the show is me talking to myself. Just live your best life, man. Don't let them get you down. All right, that's the official ending siren. We're on the 33 mark. I'll be back. I'll be back soon. I will. I'll be back sooner than I was last time. Miss you guys. Take it easy. Much love.